Buffalo police launch anti-looting unit amid deadly winter storm. You are destroying your community. 8 arrests for looting have already been made in Buffalo, New York, police said. Every time you have kind of a major catastrophe, disaster, people lighting stuff on fire, it seems like we've always got the looting factor in there, right? Looting factor. Had the looting factor summer of 2020. That was shocking. This time, you got a deadly winter storm. Nobody's around. Cops can't get around. Nobody can get around. Let's not, don't let a good storm go to waste, right? Is that what we're dealing with? Seems like it. Let's jump on in. Let's see what we've got going on. Before we jump on in, love you have you take a look at reasonabletv.com. That is our subscription site. Just recently uploaded, despite camera footage, broken glass, and physical evidence, the arrested perp will walk free in less than 24 hours. It's one of our more recent stories. You've got stories in there that we can't cover elsewhere. Can't put them out because, censorship, right? Let's take a quick little look at footage here. It's pretty wild. Man, hammered. Store is trashed. Jeez.
Car going to 909 Jefferson, go to 1. Car going to 909 Jefferson, go to 1.
I got the back door secured, and I found this big piece of metal to brace against it.
They cleared this store out. Cleared it out.
Still a lot of shoes.
All right, you get the idea. One of my thoughts when you've got a storm, something like that, a natural disaster, particularly a storm like this is, all right, you haul all this stuff out. You have a truck waiting outside. You carrying it on foot. You're just watching people with massive loads of goods walk down the sidewalk. I mean, that's your reality, right? Trucks getting stuck, cars getting stuck, whatever. Are these people from nearby going in and just looting and just going back home, walking a block back home? Just absolutely ransacking stores from their own communities. That's what it seems like, right? So let's be honest. This isn't people stealing food, medicine, and diapers. They're destroying stores. They're stealing televisions, couches, whatever else they can get their hands on. They're opportunists. This is from Buffalo Police Commissioner Joseph Gramaglia, said in a press conference on Tuesday. Are you going to get a couch out of there? You got a couch, and Buffalo had 52 inches of snow, 4.5 feet of snow. You're going to haul a couch out? I mean, I guess. Yeah, it's just wild. The amount of snow that Buffalo had was just off. That was a crazy storm. Watching time lapses of that. Eventually it just kind of cover up where the camera was because there's just so much snow. We had some tough weather here as well in Seattle, but nothing like this. We might have gotten an inch or two of snow, but we did have some freezing rain that brought the city to its knees, but nothing like what they've got going on here. And now you've got these knuckleheads just taking advantage. And I know looting's, goes on during every time you have one of these things because it's an opportunity, right? You can get in, you can get out. The odds of you getting caught, looks like power was out in that store. So, your odds of getting caught, slim to none, unless there's some kind of video footage and, you don't wear a mask that day. That's the one day that you wore a really bright shirt that, just identifies exactly who you are. So unless you got some of that going on, odds are you're going to get away with this crime. So all you're doing is destroying the resource you have when you need to go to the store again and buy food or whatever else you need. You're destroying your community. It will not be tolerated. We see these incidents of looting happen so often during these big debacle times. And to me, it's just folks looking to take advantage, looking to game the system. It's like, all right, yeah, this is a time where we can get in, we can get out, and odds are we're going to be just fine. Lock these folks up, right? I mean, lock these folks up. This is the low of the low. That's what it is. It's the low of the low. And we know it. It's kind of like when we had all that looting, all the fires in LA during the Rodney King fires. It's like, okay, so we're upset about Rodney King. We're upset about George Floyd, and yet we're going to loot stores. So somehow correlating, a protest with looting stores. How does that always seem to come into play? Yeah, but it does though, right? I mean, it does. You Google looting, and oftentimes that same time frame will come against these, will match up with these big events. So now we've got an anti-looting crew from the police out running around trying to do what they can to keep these stores secure so that when the power does come back up, and it sounds like things are in the thaw out mode right now, but man, they got a lot of snow. Police are rolling out plainclothes detectives as part of the new anti-looting unit and partnering with the Erie County District Attorney in their efforts, according to Gramaglia. The city is also under a driving ban, with military members called in to help enforce the rule. A driving ban. Do not drive. No driving. So you're not going to, back your truck up. Somehow you're going to get a couch out of there? Yeah, I don't know. Buffalo Mayor Byron Brown skewered looters on Monday, saying that these aren't even people in distress. They never are they? They never are. They're just people taking advantage of a point in time where you don't have any police protection. And even if you did have police protection, you're going to chase them down the road in 4.5 feet of snow, something like that? Probably not, right? People who are out looting when people are losing their lives in this harsh winter storm is just absolutely reprehensible. Absolutely. It is. It is. Brown said, I don't know how these people can even live with themselves. How can they look at themselves in the mirror? These are the lowest of the low. 100% agreed. And yet every single time you have something like this bad happen, it seems like these people come out of the woodwork, don't they? And they do not care. They are getting what they think is theirs. That's what they're doing. Because otherwise they wouldn't be doing it. They'd go, nah, you know what? I was raised differently. I'm going to work for mine because that's how this works. I don't really want to go to jail, even if I think I know I can get away with it. I just don't really want to go to jail. So therefore, I'm not going to risk spending XYZ years in jail or months or days or whatever it is over stealing a bunch of shirts and merchandise and, crazy stuff. But this is kind of the world we live in. And I think this is the world we've always lived in. People game the system. They take advantage. But it seems like, more recently we've had just more and more of these incidents, and there's a greater, I guess, aggressive level of this kind of looting going on. It's almost like organized looting. The looting I saw by Black Lives Matter at Bellevue Square personally here in Bellevue right after the George Floyd thing happened. I mean, it was massive gangs of looters smashing windows and running into stores. And unfortunately, the area that I saw them, they were breaking into store fronts that had fake merchandise. They were breaking in there. And yeah, they weren't coming out with anything. They were very frustrated. But these were just angry mobs of Black Lives Matter, protesters, whatever you want to call them, because that's who they claim to be. And Bellevue police put, a couple hundred in jail, I think? Yeah. Bellevue police didn't take to that lightly because they stole millions and millions and millions of dollars from our mall. Just ran in there and just did their thing. Organized. It was definitely organized. So you've got this kind of thing going on. Here you've got Buffalo in the midst of just a horrific snowstorm, people dying. And then you got other jackasses out stealing goods because they think they can, and they'll probably get away with it. So more than 5 feet of snow fell on parts of Buffalo, burying homes, cars, and stores throughout the city and the rest of Erie County. This just looked like clearly it was just a wild snowstorm. The death toll in Buffalo alone rose to 31 on Tuesday, with more deceased individuals expected to be found as cars are uncovered. A driving ban remained in effect as emergency services worked to clear roads. Temperatures are expected to rise through the end of the week, potentially causing minor flooding as snow melts, according to the National Weather Center. So just insanity. And yet, is it? It's really not, because we identify these things each time and go, oh, that's horrible. That's terrible. And yet there's always some group that's willing to do it. And by group, I mean, there's more than one person. The damage that was caused in this store, it looked like a pack of, wild animals ran through, right? They're just tossing stuff. Did they run in with big, huge bags? I don't know. There's got to be security footage, although looked like the power was out. Is there security footage on the streets? What do we got going on there? I don't know how all that works in a big, huge storm like that. But man, for the citizens of Buffalo, this sucks, because then it's going to take these, their stores. Think about the rebuilding process. They got to go through and they got to, re-inventory the entire store. And you're going to have to bring all of those goods back in, or as many of the goods back in as you can before you open up, because you don't want to open up a store the way it is right now, which is just ransacked, absolutely 100% ransacked. You can see in that video, very few of the aisles had much left on them, except a couple of the aisles that looked like they had stuff that probably didn't have a lot of value. And they just, leave that stuff there. Let's go with the good stuff. But they literally just destroyed the store, and whatever they didn't steal, they, kind of tore it off the shelf and put it down on the ground and just, screw it. Let's just leave it. So these stores are going to have to totally rebuild, get back up and running. Employees are going to have to go in. You're not doing anything productive. You're just putting it back together, the store, because it was just wildly, reefed upon. And, it's just this lawless mentality that says, you know what? I don't really care if people are dying outside from freezing to death. I'm going to break in here because I can. I'm going to steal what I think I can get away with. And this is just what we're doing. It's that attitude there. That we got to address. Put those people in jail. Put them in jail for a long time. And I agree. Anti-looting, you got to just crack down on that stuff, because it's not just the occasional storm that happens like this. This is ongoing. This is whenever we have kind of a major event. People think, I can just go do some looting. Why not? Well, some cities, they're going to catch you. Some cities, they're not. When you're in the midst of this kind of just enormous public safety issue, you're not going to have the bandwidth of the police to help you out, because they're actually trying to keep people from, dying on the streets, from freezing on the streets. And, that's a terrible, terrible thing. So store inventory versus people's lives. If I was a cop, I know what I would focus on, but that doesn't help the people that need stuff after they've been bundled up at home, hunkered down, not able to get out because they couldn't physically get out. Those folks are going to need to replenish whatever stuff they need for their daily lives, and they're not going to have it in their community. And it's because of these knuckleheads that they just need to throw in jail left and right if they can find them. So if there's more updates to this story, I'll let you know. But yeah, heartbreaking, but it happens all the time during these natural disasters. I say we give them let's give them an extra 10 years. 10 years. Natural disaster happened, you go to jail 10 plus. How about that? Thanks for watching. We'll catch up on the next one. Bye for now.